Poison in the Colony, Jamestown, 1622, Chapter 23. Over the next few days, the pain in my arm subsides, but the pain in my heart does not. I am like an outsider, looking in at my family. My mother combing Alice's hair, my father kissing my mother before he leaves for the fields, Alice making Catherine laugh playing peekaboo. They are each loved, but I am different. There is something inside me that makes me strange, makes me unable to be loved and protected. In fact, it makes me a danger to all of them. I spend my days with Bermuda, helping him in our household chores as best I can. He tries to learn how to change soiled diapers, but he can't keep hold of Catherine's feet, and she keeps kicking into the mess and making things worse. Mom finally gives up and says she'll do it herself. Bermuda does not, however, get out of the job of washing soiled diapers in the river, along with the rest of our household laundry. All the while, I am waiting, expecting, dreading what Charles will find in his power to do to me. Every time I see him, he gives me a shy, knowing look as if he is now in control, the predator, and I am his prey. One evening, Samuel finds me in front of our cottage, closing our shutters for the night. "How is the arm?" he asks. "Better each day," I say. "I want to tell you something," he says. "Something I had to learn when I was your age." I raise my eyebrows. "How to shoot a musket?" I ask. He shakes his head. "About getting angry." I pout. "Oh, that. Captain Smith and Reverend Hunt helped me learn that instead of letting my anger burst out punching and fighting, I should channel it. I could calm myself inside. Then I could make better decisions, one that wouldn't get me into so much trouble. I sweep a cloud of gnats away with my one good arm. How do you calm your anger when it feels like a fire-breathing dragon?" I ask. "First, I take a deep breath," he says. He thinks a moment. "You could imagine dumping a bucket of water on the dragon's fire," he suggests. "If I had doused the dragon, I might still have jumped on Charles to protect Bermuda," I say. "But I wouldn't have threatened to give Charles the summer flux. And I wouldn't be waiting to see if he accuses me of being a witch." Daw is called away to help build houses at one of the outlying plantations. I don't want him to leave. He promises he'll only be gone for a little while, and to send Samuel to fetch him if I need him. One day, soon after Daw leaves, there's a knock on the door. It's Ensign Spence. He is a gentleman, one of the representatives of the House of Burgesses for Jamestown, and he also serves as assistant to Governor Yeardley. He brings the news I have been dreading. I have been accused. There will be a trial. In 4 days' time, at the next meeting of the General Assembly and the General Court, several cases will be heard, mine among them. I must be present to hear the testimony against me. My crime? Practicing witchcraft. The punishment? Public hanging. When Ensign Spence leaves, I drop into a chair. Mum is pale and shaking. I look at her, wishing I could beg her for help. But I know I can't. We are both silent. Alice makes up for our lack of words. "I don't like that man," she says. "I want him to stay away." "Jenny, why are you sad now? What's a trial?" "Shush," Mum tries to quiet her. But Alice keeps up. "I want to know what a trial is." Catherine feels the tension and begins to cry. Mum picks her up. Shush, Alice, she snaps. You've upset the baby. Catherine cries even harder. Alice, Catherine, Mum, for them. These are the people who can be protected now, not me. Alice, Catherine, they need their supper. I stand and walk to the fire. I watch my hand pick up the ladle and stir together the barley and peas of our loblolly. I will ladle it into their bowls. They will eat and be healthy. They will grow up strong and will not disappoint my mother the way I have. Once I am gone from the family, they will no longer be in danger. That night I lie awake long after the others have gone to sleep. What will it be like to die, I wonder? Will I meet my grandmother? Will she take my hand and say, I died a witch's death too? I shiver. I have only 4 days to wait to meet my fate. Of course, there's no secret in Jamestown. The next day, Bermuda wants to know what all this about a trial. Samuel comes by to tell me not to worry, that Governor Yeardley is squeamish about hangings, and he certainly won't want to hang a young girl. Even Angela comes and embraces me. Remember, she says, holding my shoulders and looking into my eyes, that day you found me, I was afraid I'd die all alone in the forest. But you saved me. Give me apples and wet bread. We both laughed a little, remembering the soggy bread. You have courage in here, she says, putting her hand on my heart. Go inside, Virginia. Find who you are. I nod, though I am not exactly sure how to do what she is telling me to do. There are those who are not so kind. When I go to fetch water, the other girls at the well whisper to each other and look away. Even Reverend Buck, when he sees me picking up our rations, says, This is very serious charge, Virginia. I hope to God it's not true. I want to shout, Of course it's not true, but I'm too ashamed to speak. I hurry back to our cottage with our rations and slam our shutters closed. Why are you blocking out the light, Virginia? My mother asked. I choke back tears. May I please work only in the cottage for the next few days? I plead. I can't go out there anymore. Mom lays her hand against my cheek. I feel her fear. Fear for herself and what would happen to the little ones if she were gone, but especially fear for me. Of course you can, she says, but let's open the shutters so that I can see my sewing. The next few days have a strange lightness about them. Mom and I both know, without saying it, that if all is lost, we must enjoy what is important now. We work side by side, grinding corn, kneading dough for our bread, keeping the candles burning and Catherine's diapers changed. We tell stories about the good things we remember. I take time to play with the girls, making them laugh with handy-dandy prickly-pandy. Finally, on the day before my trial, we send Samuel to get my father. We didn't want to spend those days worrying from afar, but I don't want to die without seeing him again. When Daw arrives home, he is furious. That boy and his family have done enough to us, he shouts. I know he is remembering the child Mum lost because of her whipping. We all knew it was Charles's father who made that accusation against Mum, and Governor Dale who carried out his own form of justice. Daw lowers his voice to a growl. I will sue him for defamation of character, he says. He will pay. Daw points one finger at me. You were careless, Virginia. You don't deserve this, but you were careless. He paces. I never seen him this angry. I'm sorry, Daw, I say. He raises his hand as if he will strike me. I cower. Then he grabs his own hand as though he is shocked at what he almost did. They will give us land because we are ancients, he says, still seething. But make no mistake, we are still commoners, and the gentlemen and nobles still hold the power. He narrows his eyes at me. Do not ever speak to your betters that way again. Do you understand? I nod quickly, not even daring to say, I'm sorry again. Daw's confidence buoys me. He is talking as if I have many years to follow his advice, as though he will have plenty of time to sue for defamation of character after Charles loses this case against me. When we all bed down on this last night before my trial, I have hope. Alice pats my hand. Have fun at the trial tomorrow, Jenny, she says. Mum has told her that a trial is where some people come together to talk and discuss things, and she is satisfied with that explanation, despite all of the emotions flying around. I kiss Alice's forehead. Thank you, I say. But during the night, I awaken to the sound of muffled sobs and my parents talking in tight voices. What if they take her from us? What if there is nothing we can do to prevent them from hanging her? I know, John. I have not stopped praying, not for a moment. Pray for a miracle. Then all I hear is both of them weeping. Fear clutches me again with icy fingers. I lie awake until dawn. Samuel breathes without knocking, as he always does. Come on, Jenny, he says. Let's go get this over with. He nods to my parents. I'll take her so you can get to work. I'll have her back by noon. And before anyone can ask any questions, he whisks me out the door. I have to trot to keep up with Samuel's long strides. Your parents look awful, he says. He glances at me. So do you. Thanks, I say. I'm telling you, Governor Yearly does not like hangings or whippings. How many have we had since he took office? I don't want to think about this, so I don't answer. We arrive at the church, where the General Assembly meeting has already begun. They are discussing how much to tax the colonists to pay themselves for the time they spend meeting. The trials will come a little later, says Samuel, and he bids me to sit next to him under the tree outside the church entrance. A man, dressed in the shabby clothing of an indentured servant, paces back and forth at the church entrance. He is being guarded by a man with a musket. I figure they are waiting for a trial as well. How's your arm? Samuel asks. I lift my arm, still in its splint. Better, I say. But it still hurts, and it's bent like a little funny. A group of young men walk by, on their way to the fields. Don't you need to get to work, I ask? Yes, he says. My trial will be next. Samuel Collier, charged with skipping a day of labor in the tobacco fields. 20 lashes. That's not funny, I say. Daw says we're still commoners, and if the gentlemen and nobles want to use their powers over us, they will. Do you want me to leave you and go to work, he asks. I shake my head quickly. Then he lets me deal with the consequences, he says. The voice inside the church droned on. I wish they would hurry up and get to the trials. Gnats buzz around my head, and I began to feel sleepy. After all, I hardly slept last night. I lay my head back against the tree. You can go to sleep, Jenny, Samuel says. I'll listen for when your case is called.